up, guys, gals, and you awesomeans and gamers of different shapes and sizes. It is me, Josh, Proxy, bringing you some Titanfall 2 today on the PlayStation 4 Pro. That is right, we are back to using PlayStation 4 Pro footage. I've gone through all of my old footage, so now we can see all those lovely enhanced visuals, and it looks pretty freaking awesome. Don't forget to drop a like if you enjoyed this video, and why not subscribe for more Titanfall 2 content in the future. But for now, let's do some Titanfall. Something that I actually want to mention quite quickly is about the microphone kind of like quality of the audio, because as you know, I am actually in New Zealand at the moment. I'm doing this in a living room. I don't actually have my recording booth, so I would love to know your opinion when it comes to the audio quality. Do you think it sounds good? Do you think it's fine? Because I have actually gone through all of my Titanfall 2 PS4 original footage, and that means I can actually do the review now. But it's that thing where, because they're so highly edited and quite professional to me, it's one of those things where I want to make sure that it feels good for you as well. So let me know in the comments below, let me know your opinion. But we are talking about Titanfall 2 today, and you may notice I am actually using the DMR, trying to do a little bit of sniping here, and it's kind of interesting actually, because I feel like Titanfall 2 isn't really aimed at sniping, or maybe like Titanfall in general. It feels like the game is very catered to more like parkouring, like running around, a more kind of like enhanced, more advanced even, like version of Call of Duty. Call of Duty's tried to do this, obviously with like Infinite Warfare and Black Ops 3, you could do the whole wall running and stuff like that, but it feels more like now, Titanfall 2 at least, is very catered towards close combat, not really at range and things like that, unless you're, say, playing in a Titan. So the maps themselves, for instance, don't really feel like they're catered towards sniping. You may notice at the start of this video, I did try to actually hide in some trees on like a cliff, but that was actually on the outskirts of the map, and I was getting kicked out of it, which was not very good, not very fun at all. And so it feels like there are these kind of like these areas, or at least these kind of like vantage points for a sniper to use. It feels like you're constantly in the open, and it's one of those things where with a sniper you kind of want to be at range, you want to make sure that you're not really seen and stuff, and it works against you a little bit more as well, because you're very easily detected when on the visual map anyway as well, because obviously people can see you, they can see the glow from you, they can see your unique character model, and it isn't one of those things where like in, say, like Call of Duty or Battlefield, where you can like hide behind a rock, you can actually go prone. You can't do those things in this. And say if you were to try something like wall running and then going into like the wall hook, where you can actually like attach to the wall for ages, you can't aim down the scope of a sniper rifle. So there are so many ways that really work against you. And I'd love to know your opinion when it comes to the sniping in Titanfall 2. Do you think it's like an accepted playstyle? I mean, obviously a lot of people love sniping in this game, but for me, I feel like it's very iffy, it's very like situational, very niche, and so I don't think it really works really well in the game design or the maps, and pretty much just I mean, it's good that they got the guns there for you to use if you want to try it, but I feel like it just doesn't really work in general, you know, as like a dedicated playstyle to helping your team win. We'd love to know your opinion though in the comments below. I actually, you know what, I feel like the sniper class is really good for bounty hunter, because obviously you can actually like focus on taking down all the little soldiers and stuff, but then again, you can actually use like the assault rifle and stuff and like take down the soldiers even faster and things, and obviously by like doing long range shots and stuff, people actually get like a drop on you as well and things. It means that you actually get even a higher version of actually being kind of like taken down and actually being vulnerable, and so I don't really know what I think to it. Now, with that being said, you may notice at the start of this video I was also getting pwned quite a little bit. I ended up changing from the sniper rifle, I went to then the Devotion heavy machine gun, and now I've actually gone to the G2. And this is something of a topic that I wanted to bring up today as well, is that sometimes you do actually have an off day. Sometimes you might think to yourself, oh, I want to actually use this certain type of weapon and kick some serious ass with it. Or maybe you just want to really have a nice time when playing Titanfall in general, or even any other kind of game. Like you might think to yourself, oh, I want to play some multiplayer, I'm going to whoop some ass, I'm going to have a really nice time doing it. But sometimes you can actually have a really bad time. Sometimes you can actually get outplayed. Sometimes you just don't feel yourself when playing these games. And it can happen. You can always have an off match. You can always have an off day. You can always have an off, like, quadruple amount of matches. You know, it's gonna happen. You know, it does not mean that you suck. It does not mean that the game is not for you. But it's kind of like sometimes you just have to take a step back from it. You know what I mean? So, like, in this match, I was kind of having a little bit of an off day. Like, this was one of my first matches. I think it was, like, in the morning. Like, one thing I'm having to get really used to is obviously kind of like the time changing stuff, because basically I'm on the opposite side of the world, and so there's this thing where I'm having to wake up in the morning and do these videos now instead of at night time, because generally I'll do it at that time, where I'd have my kind of, that's my kind of like creativity hour, you know? Where at night time I can be left alone, I can do my own stuff. But here, because I have my family around and stuff, and they have school and work, it means I have to do it in the morning. And it's that thing where I don't feel myself when playing these games in the morning, because I'm trying to wake up and stuff like that. So it's very interesting, but with that, you can have off days. And it means that your kind of like performance when in matches can be a little bit sucky and stuff. And so it's that thing where I say to you, don't let it get to you, you know? Don't let it bug you, don't let it kind of like affect your love for the game, because there will always be other days, there will always be other situations, other matches. The really good thing about Titanfall 2 is that the matches are really quick, they're generally only about 10 minutes long, and you can always kind of like get better when playing the game. And at the same time as I mentioned in other videos, you don't always have to focus on taking down the enemy pilots. Remember that one drop pod of soldier grunty little AI dudes always drops 5 points, which is what takes, you know, a one-player kill as well. So there's always that ability to contribute with your team, to your victory, your potential victory, by just taking down the AI, which is really cool. I like that you actually have the opportunity to do that. A really badass little North Star battle there, which was really cool. Did actually lose the majority of my health, but you may have noticed that I was actually combining a select amount of abilities, using my tether mines, using my cluster bombs. Now, with that confrontation there, I actually learned something when using North Star. And this is that the super core ability that North Star has, which obviously goes up into the air and is kind of like, it's called the flight core, where basically it opens itself up and fires all these rockets down below and stuff. It's actually not very good. It's actually not kind of like a 1v1 or even let's say like 1v like free kind of ability to use against other enemy titans. And it's kind of interesting in that aspect because obviously North Star is a very support-based titan. Something just went and happened behind me. I think it was like a dog. Oh, dogs are barking now. Oh, that's great. That's fantastic. Thanks, dogs! The thing I have to worry about as well is that dogs are actually at this home, and so they just like to wander off and bark and stuff. I apologize for that, but anyway, let's keep talking. Now, when it comes to North Star's flight core, it's kind of interesting in the fact that you can't actually do confrontational matches with the flight core ability because it's more of a support ability. North Star is all about staying at range and supporting the team. I have actually been able to stop and actually destroy enemy titans in their path with, you know, with North Star just by herself, but I feel like with every single ability that North Star has, it's always about kind of supporting. It's always about getting behind the enemy, sniping them, and then finishing them off when they're actually in doom/emergency mode with your real sniper rifle. And so with that, things like, let's say, the flight core, as I was saying, can never be used in, say, confrontations. They can never be used in, like, facing the enemy opponent, because you never do that much damage. I feel like it's one of those kind of abilities where, as we already know, you can actually press triangle with North Star and actually go up into the air and actually kind of, like, do over rooftop kind of, like, cover-based firing and stuff, which is kind of cool. So you actually get, like, the surprise on the enemy, which is quite cool. I don't use it that much, because I find that cover-based kind of, like, round-the-corner shooting is a lot better with, like, the dash, like, abilities and things. But one thing you can actually do is, you know, with that kind of ability, is kind of like go over the rooftops and then like support your team that might actually be having a confrontation with the enemy, because they will be seeing you coming over a building, which is kind of interesting, don't you think? So say like with that kind of like desert city map, which kind of looks like Angel City, but it's a bit more, well, desert based, you can actually do really cool things where you can actually go over like little building areas and then support your team with your flight core, but you don't actually have to kind of like do like confrontations and stuff with that flight core and end up losing loads of health. Because there's something to remember as well, is that North Star, as you can see, only has 3 bars of health, and that is very bad obviously for the life expectancy of this Titan, and so you got to be really careful with her. You have to really look after her, but at the same time try and dish out as much damage as possible. As you can see, look, we're actually getting hit by that lightning rocket launcher, and this is just by a pilot, and as you can see, look, I have lost nearly half of my health from that pilot just from, you know, trying to figure out where they are. So you need to make sure you are at a range, means that you actually have that time to actually predict, to actually evade enemy fire, but also actually give every single shot that you fire made counted, because as you know, like, as we're using a sniper rifle here, and the best way to actually do the best damage output is to charge up that shot, and so you've got so much working against you, but at the same time so much potential if you are able to actually stick in that playstyle. But I would love to know in the comment section below what you thought to that. I would love to know, because there are just so many opinions, so many playstyles, and so many workarounds when it comes to playing this game. Like, as you can see here, we're actually going against an enemy Ronin now, so this is long range versus close range, and you can actually do some quite clever tactics when it comes to fighting long range or close range Titans, say like Ion with North Star, or even say like Scorch or Ronin. Ronin like rushes you, as you can see, but you can do some really cool evasive tactics. Look at that! Oh my goodness, that guy grappled at me. He was able to railgun him in the face. That was awesome. But even though you might actually be getting pwned by Ronin, say, who's going to inevitably take you down because you've got no one supporting you, one thing you can actually do, as you saw there, was a combination of the tether mine. You can also use the electric smoke to actually be kind of like an additional weapon against Titans, so you can actually use it to cover your tracks, and obviously that means that Ronin has to walk through the electric smoke, which is very very useful because you can use it as an additional weapon. So let's have this a little bit of a, this is actually a really good example of some kind of like tactic that I like to use, is you can actually like drop down tether mine when an enemy titan has just spawned. They might be in their little force field dome, you're waiting for them to actually get active so you can damage them. But while you're waiting, you can drop those tether mines, which means that when they do activate with their pallet going in, or if they change it to patrol mode or defense mode, you can then actually drop down those tether mines, which will lock them down, then pop electric smoke, and then use cluster bomb, which is really cool, because just think of the amount of damage you can do there. You can pretty much take down a titan in one go there by actually using a combination of the tether mine, the cluster missile bomb, and the railgun, and the electric smoke all in one as a massive combo of damage output. And it means that one titan out of 5 can be completely taken off the field, or even 6 if you're playing Attrition. And so there is just so much you can do. I love this as well, how because of these like corridor sections in Titanfall 2, the titans can get really clumped up, which I think is really funny. So as you can see here, look, rushing in there, dropping that tether mine, then backing out while also leaving my cluster missiles in there to damage so many of the titans and taking them all down, which is a really good idea. So there is just so many tactics when it comes to using North Star to being really beneficial. And as you saw, we nearly lost this match. We were able to turn this around by using North Star and actually kind of combining all of those abilities to actually be able to pwn those enemy titans. It's really cool, the kind of like abilities you can use with a long-range sniper titan, but actually do it in like a close-range sense. We'd love to know your opinion in the comment section below, all your playstyles, all your opinions of these titans, of these parts, and all these game modes, along with the game itself. But we're actually nearing the end of the match. As you can see here, we have actually been able to gain victory, which is really, really awesome. The time did run out, and we actually, it's so close. Look at how close the enemy team was to actually getting victory as well. We were really close to actually getting a max out. But it's been me, Josh, aka Noir Proxy, bringing you some Titanfall 2 today on the PlayStation 4 Pro. We'd love to know your opinion of the game, as mentioned multiple times before in this video. But remember to drop a like if you enjoyed this video, and why not subscribe for more Titanfall 2 content in the future. It's been me, Josh, and I'll see you all next time. Ciao for now.